Dan, we need some help for you to break down this Miami situation. Do I need to hit the panic button on my Dolphins? We're going to be good to go. Where are we at, Dan?
I think it's not a panic situation. As you know, you played in the league many times, and we actually should have won the game yesterday. And it was one of those things that, in the NFL comes down to the end a lot. The first game, we didn't really play well, and everybody knows that. And I felt like we played more than well enough to win this game. It's just at the end, we had a touchdown, Achane goes out of bounds, and then the next thing you know, a couple penalties, and then we end up losing the game. They came back from, they were down 12-0, the Dolphins. They came back from that, and they came back from another lead that New England had. And I thought they played pretty solid the whole day. It's just, as you guys know, you got to take advantage of opportunities when you have them, especially like that at the end of games, because in the NFL, all the games go down to the end.
Like we always say, it's a game of inches, and it truly, like Achane stepping out of bounds by a pinky toe.
Yeah.
Like it truly showcased that it is a game of inches. Well, I love our time together. We had Miami. When did you get into that role of just kind of you're kind of around and you're helping out in whatever scenario possible? And when I was there, we just had great conversations in the quarterback room, sitting around, hanging out, talking about throwing 4 verticals and throwing slants. And how long have you been in that role, and what is your day to day with the Dolphins right now?
The coaches, as you know, all the coaches, when I was there with you, that's their job, is to coach and do their thing. And I'm just kind of around if, for extra help, if they need it or not. I mean, I actually spent a lot of time with you because I enjoyed being, in the room with you and listening to what you have to say, because you're that Ivy League smart Harvard guy, and I was trying to learn stuff from you, as playing quarterback.
Plenty of antics with this guy.
But I'm still doing the same type of thing. I go to practice mostly, and every now and then I'll go in the quarterback room. In camp, there's, how they have all the people in the quarterback room. So, I didn't go as much maybe this year as I have in the past. But I enjoy doing it. I enjoy being around the players. It's football, and it's never going to leave my blood. And I'm pretty fortunate to be able, the Dolphins let me, come in there and do that kind of thing.
It's pretty amazing, Dan. I think it's one of those things. They're very fortunate as well to have somebody that a legend like yourself in there. And I think it's funny when we see these teams. You start a season 0-2. We always talk about the locker room and the atmosphere and the culture and all this mess. And it always takes you back. I remember Sean McVay and I having this conversation. We were bringing a guy in at one time. I think it was either one of the trades or signings we were doing, and him and I were like, what do you think the effect, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, you know what? I think we overthink these things. He goes, you know what's going to have a great effect on our culture and in our locker room? Let's go win. If we win football games and we do what it takes to win, I've yet to meet one that doesn't have an awesome culture and a great locker room, right? Winning cures everything. So when you think about this group, what do you think about the locker room? You're there, you're around these guys, like you said, and really, is it just that? They just need something to go their way to get them going.
Yeah, I think the one thing, as you know, and coaches should harp on this kind of thing is, it was one game, we lost it, or 2 games we've lost. Be positive, like you said, Andrew, and just win games. Like, the next game is the most important game. And then just like the next game after that's the most important game. And then, 5, 6, 7 down the line. And, it's a long season. We very close to winning last week. And you're right, winning takes care of everything. It makes everybody feel good. It makes everything positive. The big thing is, in Buffalo, we play in Thursday. So, that's a quick turnaround. That's why you have to have that mindset. Like, hey, last year we lost on the last, field goal at the end of the game. So we almost had them beat up there in Buffalo. So, it's there. We have the ability to do it. It's just, you got to get it done.
Do you think that, NFL offenses overcomplicate it sometimes? I'm just thinking back to your career, and you threw for 5,000 yards and 48 touchdowns before it was cool, Dan, before anybody was even close to that. It just seems to me like there is a complication now, maybe an overcomplication, to where it's one-on-one to the outside. I've got my best player over there. Let's throw him the rock. Have you seen that as we've kind of gotten farther away from your career since you retired?
I think yes. I think it's a little more, I mean, in our offenses that we ran, and I think we talked about it before, you kind of line up. You want to look, and Peyton Manning used to do this too. You just line up. You want to look at the defense, get a feel for the pre-snap read coverage, and get your best matchup. If you want to change it, you change it. So, I mean, it's evolved now. It's evolved over time, and people are playing different positions. We had our X, we had our Y, we had our Z, we had two backs, double tight ends. Now they have different formations, and I would say yes, that it is, more complicated all over the league. When you watch what everybody's doing it now.
Yeah, Dan, I think on that subject, I was watching kind of a commentary Tom Brady went into with Colin Cowherd about, sometimes we assume for these quarterbacks, they're all in the same situation and they're all getting taught, they're getting all this certain level of education as they're trying to learn. And I think to both of you guys' point of talking about sometimes we overcomplicate, we also assume, I think, that maybe we can design all this stuff and maybe we can come up with these ideas, but can we actually, from the quarterback's eyes, like I used to always tell my coaches, teach me from the grass. Like if you can't teach me what this looks like or this play is supposed to work like from the field level, then like sitting up here at this eye level where we're looking down on the film, like that really doesn't do anything for me. And I think sometimes we assume all these quarterbacks get those experiences the same. And so what do you make of some of these guys that we've seen? Now we see Daniel Jones here in Indianapolis. We've seen Sam Darnold, Geno Smith. Sometimes that change of scenery, all of a sudden we see them find a different version of themselves or maybe a better version.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew, I think sometimes it is what you said, a change of scenery. They get so many young guys that get plugged in there early and maybe they're not ready quite yet. They're just not ready and they get put in tough situations and they learn from that, I'm sure. And that's kind of what, like the guys you're talking about, they probably learned from being in those tough situations with the teams they were with. And then now they get this, new life and they get another chance and they have all those experiences, good and bad, and they have that with them and they learn from that, which gives them the chance to be, a good player in the league, and that's the thing, and do it for a long time.